Hey guys, this is Denise Cooper, and I am going to be sharing some of my video discussion about my book that I'm currently reading still, Amos Oz. I actually had to start over. You guys know how I do. If I am away from a book for quite some time, I will start over if I'm not too far in, and sometimes I would just double back about 2, 3 chapters, what have you. But I started this one over, and I actually enjoy things a lot more. I don't know, maybe I'm a slow learner or slow burner, whatever you want to call it, but these are some of my thoughts coming up in the next couple of clips about Amos Oz and Judas. So again, thank you, Kamil, over there in whatever beautiful land that you're in. This is the international bestseller winner of the International Literature Prize, Amos Oz Judas. Here are some of my thoughts. Where am I right now? This will be chapter 14 on page 60 and 61. And I am enjoying his writing. I really am. I'm proud of myself for actually purchasing books of authors I am reading and have been wanting to read based on some really good recommendations from you all. I once said a long time ago on this channel that I want to read everything that Kamil has on his dang shelves, right? So, well on my way. This is about the fourth suggestion as far as the fourth writer that I've picked from his brain and off his shelves, and I'm gonna continue to get into. So, going forward, I want to also thank someone on Instagram, and I'll have to put it in the description box below because I totally forgot. No, I didn't. Lioness Reads, hi, my sister friend. Hi. And she suggested an Amos Oz book for me. It was on sale at Amazon for $1.99 on Amazon. So I was very happy about that. Although Amazon has been having some issues, and the only thing I really buy on Amazon is I used to buy things like my makeup brushes a long time ago, years ago, things that I used to get from Amazon. I don't do anymore. The only thing I do is support independent writers, and then of course some writers that are very well known like Amos Oz. So thank you so much for that. Quick buy and sell. Thank you. I appreciate it, sis. And so the thoughts that I'm going to be sharing are just up to, obviously, chapter 14. And I don't want to say I've never done this before because I used to do this. I did it with the Ruby book. But going forward on this channel, I just will talk about my books, and I will share any future vlogs on my other channel that even less people watch. However, I'm going to continue to have fun when I want to have fun, and just point and shoot and have a good time learning how to edit. Going to get a new camera and some new software to help me to learn how to make some like little short films of my beautiful time here in this planet, on this planet, and here in the state of Texas. Before I go and let you enjoy the wonderful literary thoughts that I have on, again, Amos Oz Judas, I want to say I had a really good discussion last night with the Harvey Hazel Peace Community Center here in Fort Worth, Texas. And it's all about tearing down or keeping up a mural at the Will Rogers Museum here in Fort Worth, Texas. You can go and take a look at it online, and the video clips from a news channel that I saw on the way to work talking about possibly tearing down this artwork that was built and created when the building was built in 1926 or 36. I'm sorry. I had it on my brain all day, and now for some reason 26 is coming up. Could have been. But anyway, it's an image of people working, black, white, and so forth. And there's Indians, and there's all these different panels of a mosaic. And some people want it taken down because there are two black men prominently on this particular panel not the whole mural, that are picking cotton. And I guess the representation, they say it's racist. That's what was done to our people. We didn't do that to ourselves. So I am on the opposing side for taking it down, simply because I'm a reader, and whether you're reading American classics, and thank God for people like our sister Toni Morrison, who wrote specifically for Black people. You can read all types of classics here that were written here in America, and like she said in Playing in the Dark, that absence of Black people. And so to tear down a piece of artwork that was built in a time, and the artist did what was asked of that artist to do, was to reflect what was going on in the times, and actually it wasn't a depiction of slavery. It was a depiction of a time where they were sharecropping, and America was going through a very hard time, and everybody was working. And even if it was a depiction of what happened to Africans being enslaved, stop removing the history. Use it as a teaching lesson, because you can go right across the street, like a man said in the meeting, a Jewish man, because he introduced himself as a Jewish man with, half Black kids, half Jewish kids, and what have you. And how I think it was another man there, white man, that said his family picked cotton during that sharecropping time. But even if it was a representation of Black Africans being enslaved, it wasn't our doing. We didn't kidnap ourselves, cross the water, and die and survive ourselves, whip ourselves into submission to pick the cotton. Why are we the ones ashamed? I'll talk more about that on another video, because I did take some footage of the meeting, and I'll continue to do that until the decision is made to either tear it down or keep it up. My, again, thought would be to keep it, use it as a teaching tool, because you can go right across the street to 3 very prominent museums and see or not see any Africans. So to have to see this African picking cotton, whether he was slave or sharecropper, his existence, to pick cotton another day so he could run, to pick cotton another day so he can save his family from getting beat, to pick cotton another day to buy master's land, kill master, whatever he wanted to do to survive. Stop erasing the opportunity to teach history, or it will repeat itself. Your very existence in this country is racist. Let them tell it. So who do you want to control the narrative? Do you want to take it all down? For a reader like myself to know that there's an absence of, and I'm still talking about it, to know that there is an absence of Black people, African people here in America, in a lot of literature, in a lot of art. Now we're volunteering, removing ourselves, removing our ancestors, that if it wasn't for their fight, there'd be less of us. To lazily have a discussion about tearing their image down when it wasn't them that put them in that position. So tell the real side of the shame, the criminal part of that, the kidnapping, the beating, the murdering part of that. Keep it there. No matter who's feeling shame about it, it's a lesson to be learned that this will never happen again. That we didn't cross these waters willingly in that time. But look who we have become. You are your ancestors' wildest dream. So when you pass by a depiction of a Black African picking cotton, They were not boom, poof, born slaves. They were enslaved. Why are we the ones with the shame? Not I said that. Fly. Alright, that's it. That's enough. Didn't mean to go into that because I really went to that meeting, wanted to learn about the mural, and I did. And I hope to... Actually, I'm not going to link all that below, and I'm not going to do a video to educate you on what's going on here in Fort Worth, Texas about that mural, because it's online. It's on the World Wide Web. I've already told you what it's called. It's been on the news. It's on the website. If you just Google Will Rogers Mural, it will come up. The fight to want the city to take it down. Those of us who were in that meeting, no one was opposed. Black, white, Jewish, nobody wanted it to come down. And maybe there were some people sitting there that may have wanted to, but after learning more about the mural, I already knew that when I went there, I'm an artist, I wouldn't want that taken down, because to me, stop removing history and use it as a teaching tool, because I am so confident in who I am as a Black African person that there's no shame in survival. We didn't do that to ourselves. We weren't, you can't look at me and go, she's a slave. She comes from slavery. I don't come from slavery. I come from human beings who were enslaved. A crime was committed against them. It's not my shame when you look at me and you see black and you equate slavery. Slavery should be equated to the American system. But slavery was not only done here in America. Read more, learn more. I went to that meeting to learn more, to see if my own first knee-jerk thing was, don't take that down, use it as a teaching tool. That was my thought when I saw the news article. Then I went and I was like, yeah, I am right in thinking that. Because instead of seeing all these images of what happened to our ancestors, them picking cotton and them in certain situations where they had no control, or they would die, or someone they loved would die, and it just kept going on and on for hundreds of years. Won't you just thank you? I'm sorry. I miss you. I wish you could see me now. I wish you could see you now, see us now. We're surviving. We made it past survival. Yes, injustices are still going on. Racism is still going on. But you did everything that you could to get us to read those books. We can read, write books, win writing awards. We can become presidents and first ladies, doctors, lawyers, CEOs, presidents, owners, teachers, stay-at-home moms, entrepreneurs, poets, writers, artists. We can be sharecroppers if we choose, own land, be landlords, nurses, maintenance men, women, maids if we want to, own companies that service maids, cooks, chefs. We can do it all. Astronauts, gymnasts, track stars, basketball stars, football stars, world travelers, lazy Sunday readers. Thank you. I know you were there. I see your image. I know what happened to you. I don't want for your people to feel the shame. We didn't commit a crime against ourselves. We want to see you. We want to see that you see us. Thank you. I'm so sorry. And I love you. Please don't tear down that mural. America needs to face up to its crime. How about keep the mural up until there's reparations for their people? Me, you. An apology is not enough. Not when there are lines in Kansas City that if you were white, you got a loan to build a business. When the other side of that town, there could have been business. There were black business owners who had the skills, the experience to own businesses, walk into a bank and get a loan, and denied because they only want white people on that side of Kansas City, and this side of Kansas City, they wanted the blacks to remain over there. So no matter how much education you had or experience in owning your own companies and so forth, you couldn't get a loan because you were black, but you could be right out of your mother's womb, drop out of high school, marry your dropout husband, and be white and get a loan so you can live over there on that side of town so you can get ahead and do better for yourself. Because they're over there getting educated. Keep those images up. Keep reminding them and yourself this will never happen again. And someone needs to pay for that crime. How about that? How about that? There. So Amos Oz Judas by Amos Oz. Amos Oz top billing, Judas the title at the bottom, black and gold, and there's this rusty colored, looks like a road mark or what have you. International bestseller, winner of the International Literature Prize. So I was thinking about this book. I'm only on page 37, right? So I'm thinking about how would I sum up this book? I mean, I'm only 37 pages in. I like it. It's a very literary fiction. It's translated, so all these things are in my mind. Sometimes when I'm reading a book that by an author I haven't read, so I don't know that author's flavor, you're just getting into it and you're trying to figure out what the story is, where it's going. The character is very well introduced, and therefore I feel like I have a good sense of his sight, like what he looks like, how he acts. He's very jittery. I mean, it's just, so I can see him. I can possibly guess how he's going to react to these other people that are introduced into the story because of the good direction that the author has already given me on his protagonist, right? So, but still, like sometimes when you're reading literary reads, they're character studies and the story isn't some plot driven, like there's this mysterious thing going on. I don't know anything of what's going on in this story yet other than him and his heart possibly broken already with the fiance or a love of his life that has gone back to someone else. There is him moving from one place to another and getting acclimated right now and possibly falling for somebody already on page 37. Well, he's in like maybe of this person, kind of attracted to her, but the writing is very again, I'm thinking about the translation, like what were in this original language, right? How would this read? Because it reads beautiful in English, and English is not the most beautiful language. To me, English, especially American English, is a bastard language. Go look at that. I just wanted to say he is from, he lives in Tel Aviv, Israel. I love that word, Israel. I love it as a man's name. All of that. I don't know. I just love that word or name. His work has been translated into 44, you guys, 44 languages. And the translator is Nicholas D. Lang, who is a professor Hebrew and Jewish Studies, University of Cambridge. He's translated 16 earlier books by Amos Oz. So since I'm really loving this translation, I kind of wondered the books that I did get from or by Amos Oz. I want to make sure that if it's not this particular translator, I want to make sure that I'm paying attention to how he's relaying this author's words. Will it come across as beautiful and as authentic that I can think of right now as Amos Oz is writing to be? I don't know, but I'm thinking about that. I know people that read a lot of translated works probably have that same vein. Nothing's new under the sun. We all have the same thoughts at some point. Some more genius than others. I mean, I'm not Einstein. But there were women who were. His wife. And so anyway, with all that said, I was thinking about how am I going to sum up this when I get all deep into it. Maybe I'll get a better feel of how to talk about this book. When I get here towards the end, maybe even better how to translate my own thoughts and verbiage where it's not mocking, not sideswiping because I don't know how to say something. Or relay my thoughts. Then I thought a lot of times when you're reading character study books like Waiting by Hajin, Eileen by Otessa Moshfegh, this book about Shmuel or Shmuel by Amos Oz, I thought about something Amos Oz said. So the writer has already summed up what I kind of think about one of my favorite genres that I love to read, literary fiction. And it says in here just two words. And I thought, that's it. Ding, 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 ding. What is it? Perpetual inactivity. Perpetual inactivity are the two words that I'm thinking, because there's not a lot of mystery going on in a lot of character study or literary reads. There's not a lot of, if a literary read has a lot of drama, or family drama per se, it starts to feel like a girlfriend read or dipping into a romantic side of things. It starts to feel unliterary in this sense. All books are literature because it's the written word. But as far as a genre where they put literary fiction, then those two words to me sum up a lot of the books that I love that are character studies. Books that don't have a heavy, mysterious plot or a dramatic unfolding and romantic or hot sex or urban stories and thrillers and this, that, and the other, or historical fiction or history, nonfiction, or memoirs, anything. Something about a literary read and those two words to me fit perfectly when trying to describe what this book is about or how it's written. Perpetually, it's inactive, and it's like a slow wine to me, like shall I dare to say, foreplay. And what's the climax? To me, the climax is the writing, the writer. Not so much the, like, oh, let's get this to the complete final ending. This is what happened, this is why, and blah, 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 and this whole crescendo. Literary fiction to me sometimes is a slow burn. It's the words and the verbiage and that whole, just everything about putting this sentence next to this one because it flows really good, or you're so lost, or as a writer, so lost in just the being of the written word and life, and putting those two things together. This perpetual inactivity, this slow wine, this slow, sometimes burn, this coming of something that never completely happens, that life is happening all along the story, the book, the feel, everything. It's like a day that you have all to yourself and you're trying to describe something, and the inactivity of your intelligence may not be relaying the message completely so that someone else will understand. Perpetual inactivity. This whole summary of what I'm trying to say. That's sometimes what I love about literary fiction. It's the life. It's the, at the end, like a Bernice McFadden book, Loving Donovan. Okay, what happened? Life keeps happening. It either it could go this way. He did this because of that. If you haven't read it, and if you have, you understand what I'm saying. Or like if Beale Street Can Talk, not a great ending. That's life. That's that high-mindedness that life just keeps going on. If the writer just keeps on going and plugging and plugging and plugging to get you to this beautiful ending tied up in a bow, that's not life. Always. Is it? So the topic of discussion is, to kill a god, you have to be greater than that god. I would say you have to be as great or as knowing as that god that you kill. Because there are things about that god, obviously, that you know that that god knows that all the people and subjects to that god that you're trying to kill is hiding from those subjects, is not sharing with those subjects. And so that god that is trying to kill the other god, because they are two gods. One is a god of good, one is a god of evil. Maybe. Let's just say that, because that could be what it is. So the god of good and the god of evil, they both are very well of each other's powers, strengths, weaknesses, faults even, sins even. And the god, let's just call him the so-called lesser god, the god that is trying to kill the other god. So definitely would be lesser, right? We're not wrong in saying that, because if you're trying to kill someone, harm someone, do away with someone's life, religion, truth, spirituality, story, what's to come, then you know that person and you are jealous, evil, a liar, truthful, and honest at what you know, but you want to share it before it should be. You know that your time is short because you want to tell this secret, how life would be in the future. Trying to free up subjects now by letting them know this is going to go on for thousands of years. So go ahead and do that thing that you want to do. Live to your heart's desires. You're going to die anyway. But the thing that that person, that God knows, is that the real life isn't the right now life. There will be a new heaven. There will be a new earth. and all the things that you imagined in this earth with all its wrong and all my evil being and tantalizing and teaching you how to live now, putting off that good godly behavior for something that you could possibly get forever, dangling that possibility so you're afraid to do the right thing now in order to gain the forever later. So you live for right now, to your heart's desire. You chase this, that, and the other, knowing that the possibility of the God who's trying to kill the good God could be wrong. It's embedded in you somewhere that there is good that is going to prevail, and that evil thing can't be everlasting, or nothing about the intent of life is true, is honest, is real. You must be a powerful, knowing God to kill a God. Lessons, not even done, but learned, thought-provoking writing. Thoughts that I've had before that just come up, and I'm like, because I know nothing new is under the sun. We entertain these thoughts. We wonder what if. And all the time knowing I'm not the only one that believes this, or doesn't believe that, or come up with this idea, this knowledge, this truth, that you have to be a God to kill a God. Which God will you follow? My heart tonight is just, I don't know, kind of hurting. I want to call James and tell him I'm sorry. I was all in my feelings tonight after that meeting about removing a racist image from the Will Rogers Stadium, and I'm thinking, why is it us that have to be removed? Why do the slaves have to be removed, or the enslaved have to be removed? Why come somebody just can't own up to the crime? Why do we feel so much shame, or, oh, that's racist? We know good and well this whole country and how it was founded on the backs of. I'm not shocked in 2019, like, slavery existed, or Africans were being enslaved. So why we feel the shame? Why we gotta get rid of something? I'm gonna just leave it there. Teach people what happened so we don't repeat that crap. Hold folks accountable. Create a mural to balance out what we know isn't unjustified. What we know is a crime here in America. Why is our burden so heavy? If you don't want slavery represented in art, and it's not told correctly or taught in the schools other than as a shameful point, Teach the real truth. Teach the crime. And what the colonizers did. Teach that. Don't remove another black image from art. It's an education that we all need. We need an education. We need to free up the shame that we feel. Oh my gosh, there's a black person picking cotton. That's racist. Oh Lord. Did they pick cotton? Yes, they did. And guess what? If they wouldn't have done what they did to survive, none of us would be here. None of us black people. And half of the white folks. We done intermingled with them and had their babies and watch YouTube right now and see black folk after black folk getting their ancestry results, and oh my gosh, I'm 90% African from Nigeria. Oh my God, I'm 10% European. Yep, I said it. Y'all know it. You seen all that happiness. Oh my God, I'm 2% Asian. Who would have thought? Oh my God, no one told me that we had Asian in our blood. Oh my gosh. We got, oh my God, I'm Italian? 1.2%? Oh, the rest is Africa. Okay, well I knew that. Okay. Oh, okay. Yeah. We are ashamed. And it wasn't our crime to be ashamed of. We didn't create no crime. They didn't create no crime surviving, running, building railroads that weren't even railroads, but a place to be free, songs to sing, to signal one another. Just genius. I'm tired. I'm tired. Tired of the African in America feeling ashamed of the amazing plight and survival of the enslaved that got us here. I'm not proud of slavery. You guys are getting me wrong. If you really think that, I don't think racism exists, or what that time represents. We were born free, and someone enslaved us. That's the true crime. Now I'm gonna eat me some chicken and biscuits. Finger looking good.